mindful of. Let me get my cafe. Maybe trade half size so you get on the board for a couple. We'll see what's going down. What's up, everybody? You know. Man, it's cold everywhere. I don't even got a heater in my house. I don't think. I might have to wear socks. I even wore warm-up pants today. They're so cold. Man, that's messed up all day. All right, let's talk about this. So, look, the market's open. Market's fading off its gap a little bit here. You know, we kind of popped a little bit end of day, and then we kind of faded pre-market. Yeah, this is yesterday's low. So we'll have to kind of watch two things. Number one, if we retest the low, you know, we may get a pop as we're starting to get oversold. You got 5 stochastics here. If we break under, it doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, the market's going to fade. When the market gets oversold, you often do like a shake and bake. A shake and bake is like where you break under the old low, but you're so oversold, everybody shorts it, and then it rips back over. The shake and bake in an oversold condition is actually fairly, it's fairly common. So be aware. There's tests of support. There's breaks under support. But then there's also the shake and bake, right? So the shake and bake is always going to be, you know, kind of the main thing to always kind of be mindful of when you're looking at this thing. But we're already starting to bust over here. So, you know, at this point, right, if market's guilty till proven innocent. But if it rips back over, keep an eye out, right? Keep an eye out and see if the shake and bake is in full effect. Otherwise, we'll have to kind of go with what we got to go with. Watch list for today, right? We still got this UGAZ on watch for a short. Man, this little sucker. So when you get a rubber band setup where you want to short it, you ideally want to gap up. Like, notice how this thing's already flooded down like 60 bucks pre-market. So it takes a lot of the range out of the short because it's already been getting dusted. So, you know, we'll have to watch this one, see how it pops. You know, maybe we get kind of a double top over here or something like that, and we'll be able to, you know, we'll be able to take it. The opposite of, obviously, UGAZ is this DGAZ, and that's where, I mean, your eyes don't work? What's going on? Look at the chart. We have 50 webinars on indicators. Just go through them. This is a morning class to figure out what we're going to trade today. It's not an indicator class, buddy. Now, this thing is a rubber band setup, but 9 EMA, 20 EMA, and VWAP to answer your question. Boom, 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 boom. So this thing is coming down all the way down to 286. We're already getting a little bit of a gap up here. Now, you can't chase a gap on something like that, right? You can't chase a gap like that. What you got to do is if you get the strength in the morning, let's watch the first pullback to the 9 EMA, and we'll see. This thing, the 9 EMAs here, about $9. We've got room to bounce. We just can't chase it. When you get something that's in a downtrend, and you chase strength, you get smoked out, right? You're always getting smoked out, so you got to be just real mindful to not do that. Let's wait for this thing to pull back, and we'll see how it goes. It does trade a little bit thick. I got DDS on watch for a potential short. I'm just teasing. I mean, it seems like all my Indian students are always the biggest pain in the asses, so you guys get it the worst. Dun, 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 dun. This one, as long as it stays under 66.99, 66, I think this one's got a chance here. What we're going to do is wait for either an ORB or a quick pullback buy. Now, the one thing with DDS is going to be that it's a retail stock. Retail stocks suck to trade. We've been stuck in a grind on this a few times over the years on bad earnings. So this one does work a little bit better on pops versus trying to chase it low. but you're already starting to see the action pre-market. This thing should get dusted. This Intel, man, I was hoping it'd hold this 72 so we could smoke it at the open. This one's got bad earnings out. It's breaking under its 200 SMA. You already see the range pre-market, $8. We'll watch this one too for an ORB. You're already seeing this thing drift lower. You know, my plan originally was, because it was holding this 72, was just to smoke this thing out on the break below at the open, but it's already doing that little how. So nothing we can do about that one. We'll wait for an ORB or quick pullback buy at the open on this one, probably due to the range. Ideally, we're going to have to let this thing pop. We'll see how it acts around the 9 EMA, and hopefully that coincides with what's going down at the 200 SMA, and we'll be able to roll this thing over. Tech stocks have been getting dusted, right, on earnings the whole last month. So there is a chance that this one has some range on it. You'll just have to be careful. Like when you think about like 20, $30 billion companies, right, they only have so much intraday range. So it's better to kind of let them push into that 9 EMA and then fizzle back over. You know, that's like your classic setup, right? It's same type of deal, like, you know, even on something like a PCG, right? If you short it too low, what happens is like they don't, right? They don't always follow through, but like if you get the big gap down and then you let it squeeze, right? Just let it have that short squeeze. Let that short squeeze develop a little bit. Let the shorts get out of their position and then let it fizzle out. You get a much better entry, right? You get a much better entry where, you know, it'll tap into the 9 and then just start to slowly bleed out and unwind into your position. Anybody trade this thing yesterday? Man, I must have left like $5,000 on the table on this thing. I had the entry around 28, but I just covered the thing too damn early. You know, my mistake on this thing really wasn't the entry point. I should have doubled up here at 27. You know, we were talking about that pre-market yesterday, right? And it was like, you know, we had a good plan for it, but the one thing I didn't account for was that it would give me some opportunities to double up. You know, as traders, we need to be, right, adding risk to the table when we see opportunity. Man, it still bites my bullet. I was annoyed with myself all day yesterday because, you know, I ended up making like $1,500 on the thing versus like, right? Like, I mean, I left, I had, you know, 1,500 shares to start with. You know, I left a lot of money on the table. This one will actually be in play again today, so just kind of keep an eyeball on it. I hear you, ProCharge. Kevin, what's going on? All right, let's take a look here. So if the market bounces, you know, at this point, we'll be watching this Labu for a bounce too. We took an epic short on this thing yesterday, but at this point, you got 3 stochastics on this thing. It's getting oversold. If this thing, if I get a whole candle outside the lower Bollinger Band, 0 period, Tammin, if I get a whole candle outside the lower Bollinger Band, I'll start looking for a long on this. I won't take it long, though, unless it gets totally stretched. When you're going counter trend, you need room, right? So you need to stretch out that rubber band in terms of its oversold nature so much that it's got nowhere to go except snap. So this one ideally has one more big push down. Then we can kind of long this thing back up because you can see here the 9 EMA is at like 50. So when the market starts to bounce, that's when you're going to be going. Yeah, UNG is the same as UGAS, so you could definitely keep this on your list too. It's the same thing, right? So UNG is just the single version, single leverage version of UGAS, which is just a 3X ETF or ETN. It's not even an ETF. So just something kind of to be mindful of. Thank you, Dickie B. Appreciate that. So just, you know, be cool with that. And yeah, these nat gas plays will be in play. Remember with natural gas, I think it should be 10:30 or 1 p.m. They usually have these reports come out, like weekly inventory, shit like that. So, you know, be wary. If you're holding something, you could get shaken out big time with some volatility. So just be mindful of that. I got this car Gia on watch today. It broke under the 200 SMA and this kind of flat bottom breakdown over here. If I get a pop in this thing and we go green to red, I'll take this one short. It's got a pretty good range on this bad boy also. There are a lot of penny stocks kind of running around today. You could put on your list also. For longs, if the market bounces, this AMRN did a hammer candle right on its 50 SMA. So when you get a hammer candle, which is essentially a candle with a long tail at a key level of support, what usually happens, like when you're getting something like that, is that can signify a bounce. I mean, ideally, if you were going to swing trade, the entry would have been yesterday. But if you're day trading, we can still day trade this thing back up to maybe $18 to $20, give or take. But this is a reversal candle, right? So this is like what it means is like, see, you got a big parabolic flush, and then you start to build your pattern back to the upside, and that's always going to be the case in terms of how you time reversals and stuff like that. So when you remount that kind of big moving average, it's going to be good. I added this Survey Monkey to the list too. I haven't spent much time watching it. It doesn't seem like it trades like a huge amount of volume just yet. So I'll have to be mindful of that. It had 1.3, so it's enough to trade, but it's not necessarily enough to feel like that good about it in a downtrend. We'll watch it today though. That's a base breakout. And when you get a base breakout pattern on the daily chart, on an IPO type of stock, they usually have some juice on it. The caveat will be, right, does the market bounce and give us enough juice to run with it, which that I don't know. So we'll have to kind of just be mindful of that too. But, that's the list. AMRN, SVMK tops for bounces along with Labu. Then we got these gappers. We'll keep the list light and sweet, right? Always try to limit your list to 5-6 names if you can, to just prevent too much confusion, too much over trading. Obviously, when you're day trading, the easiest thing to do is over trade. So just be mindful of all that kind of stuff. Look, the market's been giving us gifts, right? We've had a nice 3-day start in the chat room so far. So let's not try to blow it all today and goof around. It's been easy trading the last few days in the chat room, right? So we've been having really a lot of fun, up a couple G's Monday and Wednesday, and only $600 Tuesday, but that is what it is. As always, we shall be trading in the boom boom room. Guys, let's go have some fun and do what we do. Peace in the Middle East.
You